Today I'll be showing you how to make the trending split image design in Cricut Design Space without using any external apps. Now, in my last video, we did the split image design in Canva, but I know some of you are wondering, can we do this in Cricut Design Space? And actually you can, but the steps are completely different. However, it actually might be a little simpler to do in Design Space, but I'll let you be the judge of that. If we're just meeting right now, hi, my name is Nisha. Welcome to Little Craft Nest. Let's jump onto the computer and get started. Let's start off with a new project in Cricut Design Space. And the first thing we're gonna do is find the image that we want to work with. So let's go over to images and I'm going to type in tie-dye sunflower. And for our project, we want to make sure we have a print then cut image or an image with only one layer. We don't want to have multiple layers for this project. So we can filter our results a little bit by clicking over here. You can click on print then cut and also click on single layer only. Because if you just select print then cut, sometimes you'll still end up with multi-layer designs and we don't want that for this project. And then you can scroll through all the different options here. Now, I know this is a new menu layout. Before you weren't able to see all your images on your canvas screen. So if you want to search the way we used to search in Cricut Design Space, you can always go to the bottom and click on Advanced Search and search for your image over here. And there'll be a few more filter options for you to choose from. So let's scroll through these designs here. And I'm gonna select this one right here. And the image number is M505C7834. So you can also search for it by the image number. So I'm gonna click on Add to Canvas. And then we're gonna view our canvas. So now we need some text to go with our design. So let's go over to text and I'm gonna type out faith, hope, and love. Now you can do this in all caps if you want. This time I'm just having the first letter as a capital and that's fine. Now Design Space automatically centers all our text, but we want this over to the left. So go up to Align and we're gonna click on Left. I also want to change the font here. So let's click on our font selection and you can choose any font that you want. Just make sure it's big and bold because the goal is to be able to see the sunflower through our text. And if you're using a really thin font, you're really not going to see much of the design through your letters. So I'm actually going to use a system font called Impact. Now most computers have this font on them. So if you type in Impact under System, hopefully you'll be able to find it. But you can really use any bold font that you want to. Now we've got quite a bit of a gap between each of our words here. So I'm gonna go under line spacing. You can use the little arrows to adjust the spacing, or you can type in your numbers. I'm gonna do -4. And now my text is nice and close together. And I'm also going to change the color to black. You can change it to whatever color you want. You can pick one of the other colors in the sunflower if you want. I just really like the look of black with this. So let's bring our sunflower down and our text, we're gonna stretch this out. And now I'm gonna place my text halfway over the sunflower. I'm just slightly right to the halfway mark, so not completely centered, but just slightly to the right. And I also want my text to cover the top and bottom of the sunflower so that I'm getting that design inside my letters. So I'm gonna stretch it out just a little more here. But it's really up to you how big or small you want your text to be. So all the colors underneath the sunflower, we're gonna end up having those colors inside our text. And that's what I'll be showing you over the next few steps. So once you have everything lined up where you want it to be, we're gonna select both of these layers. You'll know they're both selected when both those layers turn green in your layers panel. And then we're gonna go below the layers panel and click on slice. And in Design Space, you can only slice 2 layers at a time. So if your original picture here was a multi-layer image, you would not be able to slice them all at once, which would make doing this project a little trickier. So that's why I recommend when you're uploading your image, make sure it's just a single layer image. Even if you flatten all those images together in Design Space and then you try to slice it too, Design Space still doesn't let you do that, which can be a little frustrating, so make sure you have uploaded only a single layer image. We have sliced this design and it doesn't look like anything changed on the screen, but you'll notice we have more layers in our layer panel. So let's break this apart so you can see it. So we've got this layer here, and then we've got these layers that have come apart, and we've got this one here. And this looks all rather confusing, but I wanted to show you how each layer was separated once we sliced it. We're gonna put this all back together so we don't have to line things up later. So I'm just gonna hit back and put it to how it was right after we sliced it. So let's take a look at our layers panel. So this top layer, we want to keep that, but the second layer, you're gonna delete that. So click on delete. And we're gonna keep these other layers as well. Now we're gonna insert a shape. So go over to shapes. I'm gonna select the square. Let's stretch our square out. You want it to be bigger than your sunflower here. And I'm actually gonna change this to a guide layer so I'm able to see that. So you can go up to operation, go down to the bottom and click on guide. So now we can see through that square layer that we just created. And you want the left edge of your square here to be going through the middle of your sunflower. So you don't want it touching your word here, faith, that is currently behind our sunflower. We're gonna move it close, but not touching. So if you look closely, I've got a bit of a gap between the edge of my square and the text. Make sure you're not putting it touching the text. You do want that little space there so we get that split image look later. So once you have that where you want it to be, you're gonna keep your square layer selected, and then you're gonna hold down your shift key and also select your bottom layer, which is the left side here of the sunflower that we had sliced out earlier. So with those two layers selected, once again, we're gonna go down below the layers panel and click on slice. And now we have a bunch more layers here. You'll see the top two layers here are red because that was our guide layer. We're gonna delete that layer. We're gonna delete that layer. And then we're also gonna delete that third layer as well. And there we go. There, the magic just happened. So now we have our split image look. But you'll notice our design here is still 3 separate layers. So we have 2 layers for our text, and then we got our sunflower. So let's go back. So we want to turn this all into one layer. But first, I'm just going to select both of those text layers, not the left side of the sunflower, and I'm gonna click on flatten. You'll notice that the left side of our flower, this particular design, has this black offset going around it, and I also want to add that black offset to our text. So we're gonna go up to offset, and you'll notice a blue line going around all our letters. We wanna grab that dial and bring it as close to the center as possible without going below 0. So I'm just scooching this over a little bit. You can also type the numbers in at the top. So I'm at 0.028 inches, and then I'm gonna click apply. Now Design Space automatically made that color gray, but I want it to be black. So let's go up to color, and we're gonna make that black. So it may be hard to see, but now I have an offset layer behind my text. So if I move this layer out of the way, you'll see our offset right there. So let's put this back. And now what we can do is select all those layers. So we have our offset, we have our text, and the sunflower all selected. And then we can go down below the layers panel and click on flatten. So that just turned all these layers into one layer, so that we'll be able to print this out as a whole when we go to make it with our Cricut machine. So you can print this out on printable heat transfer vinyl, and you could put this on a shirt, or you could print it out with your sublimation printer and put it on a mug or an apron or anything else that has a polyester coating. Or you can make stickers with this design as well. You could even do a print then cut to turn this into a card. There's just so many options. So if you wanted to make this design into a sticker, you would have to add another offset, because once your printer prints this out, when you put it in your Cricut machine, it's going to cut around each of the letters and the flower separately. So if you want this printed out as a whole, we need to go back up to offset. This time we're gonna make a much bigger offset, so move that dial over to the right and then click apply. Now you'll notice we have some holes in the offset layer and your Cricut machine will cut those out. And you probably don't want those cut out if you're making stickers. So Design Space made our offset a print then cut layer. And you'll notice that contour is grayed out, so we can't fix those holes. So what you'll need to do is go under operation, change that layer to a basic cut, and then you'll be able to go down to the bottom right and click on contour. Click on hide all contours, and that just filled in all our little holes right there. And then click on the X. Now, I don't like that our offset is black, so let's change that to white. Now select your image and your offset layer, go down to the bottom right, and you're gonna click on flatten once more. So this is rather a large sticker, so we can shrink this down, and you've just created your own split image sticker design. Here are some stickers that I made using this design. If you want to learn how to make stickers, I have many sticker videos, so I'll leave that playlist listed down below in the description. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you're interested in learning how to do this same thing, but within Canva, go check out this video right here, and I hope to see you on more crafting adventures.